In this video, I am continuing with the closing costs. I will cover these following 3 points: mortgage default insurance PST, Ontario land transfer tax, and the City of Toronto land transfer tax. I'm Richard, your local mortgage agent. I make videos to educate you about one of your biggest investments that you will be making in your entire life. Our objective is to provide you with the right information that will assist you in making the right decision. Mortgage default insurance PST. If you don't have a down payment of 20% or more on a home, you will need to have mortgage default insurance. The default insurance protects the lender in case you default on your mortgage. And that insurance can add up thousands of dollars on top of your mortgage. But one thing though, you don't have to pay that money up front. So how does the mortgage default insurance PST work? Well, they charge taxes on that premium, and the taxes is due on your closing date. So on your closing day, you need to talk with your lawyer, and your lawyer will give you all the paperwork and will tell you what needs to be done in order for you to pay off that amount. Ontario land transfer tax. If you live in Ontario, you have to pay the land transfer tax. And who pay the land transfer tax? That's the question. You, as the buyer, have to pay for the land transfer tax, not the seller. You, the buyer. And that money is due on your closing day. For buyers that live in Toronto, you also have to pay the Toronto land transfer tax. The only good news is, if you are a first-time home buyer, you might be eligible to receive a refund for land transfer tax. But we will save that topic for another video, how you get that refund, so on and so forth. How the land transfer tax is calculated in Ontario and Toronto. Well, my best suggestion is best to go online and find some free land transfer tax calculator, but I will quickly go over the approach they take to calculate it. Ontario land transfer tax. So technically you pay 0.5% of the value of the property up to and including $55,000. And you pay 1% of the value which exceeds $55,000 up to and included $250,000. Pay 1.5% of the value which exceeds $250,000 up to and including $400,000. 2% of the value between $400,000 and $2 million. City of Toronto land transfer tax. How do you calculate that? You take a similar approach. Technically the same thing I just said about Ontario land transfer tax. You use the exact same approach. The only thing is, if you live in the City of Toronto, you pay the tax twice. For some reason, you have to pay Ontario land transfer tax and you pay the same tax again for the City of Toronto. Like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video on closing costs. In the next video, I will cover home inspection, appraisal fees, and legal fees. Enroll for my online course where I will go in more detail on real estate investment and how to set up your first mortgage. See you in the next video.